Welcome everybody to the Dinosaur channel. Let me give you guys a little wipe down here. A little oily. Wow! Guys, we've got another Dino live chat live stream in the books today. So exciting. I'm so excited. That's the cause for the music, because today we woke up with a grand old fantastic celebration on this YouTube channel. Can you guess what it is? We got monetized on YouTube. We actually did it. I'm so excited. It took me 1 month with obviously a lot of help from you guys, which this would not have been possible without everybody who's been watching the videos, especially these dinosaur live streams the last month. But check that out. That is me hitting the requirements for monetization and hitting apply now, which I have done from today in the morning. So we are officially, hopefully, going to be entered back into the YouTube partnership program as of this month, and then we can start making money on these dinosaur videos again and obviously bring up the level of content. It's very exciting to be able to sustain this financially, because I have been pouring a lot of money into this channel as of recent, a little too much money, and I haven't seen any returns, obviously. So as a business, it's kind of scary. But that being said, we've got an exciting live stream in the books today. I'm so excited. And just for everybody who's listening to this after, treat these Dino live streams like a podcast. Listen to it when you're commuting to work, when you're doing something, you're cooking in the kitchen, whatever you want to do. You want to learn about some dinosaurs, you come down to this YouTube channel, tell you all about them dinosaurs. You know what I'm saying, Tony? You listen, I'm going to tell you about the Stromboli. I'm going to tell you about the Strombolisaurus. You know what I'm saying? Today we got an interesting one. We're going to be talking about Spinosaurus. Everybody loves this dinosaur. I'll bring you guys out a little, which Spinosaurus should I bring out? I'll bring this guy out. It might be a little easier to grab. Oh boy, we got a lot of Spinosaurs in this box, and they want to fall out. All right, here we go. That is a Spinosaurus, ladies and gentlemen. But this is a Jurassic Park, as characterized by the sail, the long tail, the face, very narrow face that looks kind of like an alligator. This dinosaur has gone through a complete evolution in the last decade to 40 years. I disconnected? Am I still here? Can everyone hear me? My internet's still a little bit bad in the United States. I'm not very good at we're waiting for a better internet service provider. So just if anyone can confirm to me, can you guys hear me? Can everyone hear me? Please let me know that you can hear me. I don't want to be talking to the nothingness. You can hear me. Okay, Marsha, let me know. We're good. So yes, guys, this is the Spinosaurus. We're going to be talking about this dinosaur today, and it's very, very exciting. We have been doing these dinosaur live streams for 1 full month now, which is really cool. This is the 4th one in the books. In this last month, we have, well, as of today, gained back, hopefully, monetization to the YouTube partner program. As of today, we hopefully will be accepted into that program very soon. We bought a Jurassic Park Jeep. We have uploaded a vast array of YouTube videos about dinosaurs, my collection in Jurassic Park, and as of yesterday, something that a lot of you guys really vibed with, there's this new series coming out on Apple TV Plus called Prehistoric Planet. I'm sure that a lot of you guys who will watch this after the fact will have watched it, because we gained like 100 subscribers yesterday, which is insane. Like, a lot of people subscribed to the channel yesterday because of that reaction video that I made. So obviously, welcome to all the new fresh faces that are here. Every Monday we do a dinosaur live stream, so if you want to listen, you listen in. But today we're going to be talking about the controversy of the Spinosaurus. So this dinosaur was originally created to kind of look like something more like, put it up, like almost like this. Imagine this. It's so funny because the way that we imagine the Spinosaurus nowadays is very, very different. But this is when paleontologists recreated this dinosaur. They recreated it like this. This is what they thought it looked like. They thought it stood up like this, and it walked around like this, like kind of like a human being, like bump, 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 bump. It had its 2 giant ass arms sitting over here, and it just stood around like, it stood up like this, like a human being. It would go to work. It would drive its car. Very, very awkward design. But again, obviously in ancient paleontology, we also thought the T-Rex did like this. We thought that Stegosaurus and Iguanodon were just basically giant lizards, like monitor lizards, like Komodo dragons. Pipe down, huh? Don't try to kiss me on live on stream. You know what I'm saying? Um, but as the years have gone by and theories about the Spinosaurus and other dinosaurs have come, scientists have been able to reduce, deduce, come to different conclusions. So when Jurassic Park 3 came out in 2001, which really popularized this dinosaur, a lot of people didn't even know about this dinosaur before that movie, and it brought this dinosaur into the limelight. The dinosaur's position shifted from this upright stance to a more theropod dinosaur looking stance, like this, kind of like a T-Rex, which, to a lot of people looks very normal. Now, in retrospect, as to what we know this dinosaur looked like nowadays, this looks a little weird too. This looks a little ridiculous. But back then, they were already playing with those theories that the Spinosaurus was semi-aquatic, obviously because of the teeth. That was the biggest indication. These teeth are not robust, wide, fat teeth with serrations. They're usually pretty solid teeth. That's a weird hand motion. Am I right? They're pretty solid teeth, like smooth all around and very sharp at a very narrow edge. And they were lined more than other carnivore theropod teeth, so they were more ubiquitous within the mouth rather than spaces. So that was one indication to paleontologists that, hey, this dinosaur could potentially have been feeding in the water. And the areas that they found the dinosaur in, so Spinosaurus aegypticus is the genus or the species. I'm really bad with that. I need to get better at that stuff. And there's another one, Spinosaurus moroccoensis. They were found in Morocco and Egypt, if that wasn't apparent enough to you. They deduced that these animals were living near swamps, near ocean bodies as well. So they assumed that these guys took a dip every once in a while. They were probably living their life semi-aquatic. So now the theories that have come out about Spinosaurus, and we're gonna put this guy, show him in here. You gonna fit in there? Technical difficulties. Are you gonna chill there, or are you gonna jump out? It looks like he's going to chill there. I'm just going to have him as easy access up there. The new theories that have come out about the Spinosaurus is that so the new article that came out that sparked a lot of this conversation about Spinosaurus, especially in March. If any of you guys are a part of what is referred to as Paleo Twitter, Paleo Twitter is sort of like the Jurassic Park dinosaur version of Twitter. It's in Twitter, but like that's what people focus on. And you can obviously follow me on Twitter as well at DinoChan, where I do chime in conversations about dinosaurs and paleontology. It's very exciting. But yeah, this whole world of Spinosaurus, this whole conversation was sparked by I think he was an Egyptian paleontologist. Let me bring up the article here. Where is he? And I'm gonna butcher his name. Dr. Nizar Ibrahim. Coming out of Germany, Portsmouth, the UK. I don't remember which Portsmouth Paleontological. Yeah, I guess in the UK. So Dr. Ibrahim wrote this paper about the density of the bones of Spinosaurus, which has led to a further indication on what the Spinosaurus might have actually looked like, and then also how much of the time it spent underwater. Because the theories are becoming more important that Spinosaurus might have been almost like a fully aquatic dinosaur and spent very little time on land, if any. And it's going towards the fact that maybe the Spinosaurus pretty much just lived its life mostly underwater, rarely leaving the ocean. So within the article, I'm now reading from the BBC, but you can go to Science Daily. I'll actually link in the not in the show notes because this isn't a podcast, but I'll link here in the live chat, and then anybody who wants to listen to it after, you can check out Spinosaurus. If you just look up Spinosaurus News 2022 on Google, you're going to find this stuff. So anybody who's listening live and wants to follow along, here's the BBC article. So let's talk about it. The density of the bones of the largest ever carnivorous dinosaur proved that it hunted underwater, researchers say. A new paper explains how Spinosaurus and its close relative Baryonyx, which we all know and love, dense bones that allowed them to submerge themselves to hunt. The bones don't lie, according to Portsmouth University paleontologist Dr. Nizar Ibrahim. Scientists have debated whether Spinosaurus pursued prey in the water or it snapped it up in the shallows. For the latest research published in Nature, so this is actually the paper I should be referring to, um, a team including Dr. Ibrahim's lead author. Oh, I clicked on an article. Matteo Fabri from Chicago's Field Museum compared femur and rib bone cross sections for 250 species of extinct and living animals. This included seals, whales, elephants, penguins, hippos, alligators, mice, hummingbirds, mosasaurs, and plesiosaurs. If anybody's not clarified, mosasaur. I'm not gonna show you because I don't want to get it from above me, but that's a plesiosaur, sort of those long-necked swimming dinosaurs that everybody knows of, but it's not actually a dinosaur. Let's see here. Subsequently, the scientists claim to have found a clear link between bone density and aquatic foraging behavior. The animals that submerged themselves underwater to find food had bones that were almost completely solid throughout, while the bones of land dwellers had hollow centers. Dense bone is believed to help buoyancy control. So that's the first sort of that was the first catalyst to this whole experience, or this whole not experience, but this whole catalyst to the situation with the Spinosaurus. Because if you've spent any time on the internet this week, especially in the dinosaur world, you would have seen that people have been sharing pictures and sort of memeing and laughing about Spinosaurus 2022. So like the idea is Spinosaurus 2022 is kind of like the meme. And I highly suggest you look, because there's some really funny memes as well, especially on Twitter, of people sort of just laughing at the Spinosaurus and what it looks like now. But there's these great images that show you the development of Spinosaurus, like what it looked like and what it looks like now and what it's gonna look like. So one of the funniest memes that I loved were like somebody just posted a picture of an alligator and was like, "This is gonna be Spinosaurus 2025." Because every year subsequently, the Spinosaurus has been retaining more of an alligator crocodilian-like design. Um, it's becoming lower and lower to the ground. In the beginning, we always thought that the Spinosaurus had longer like the legs were longer in the back, and then the arms were shorter, sort of like a T-Rex. But it's coming to the point now where scientists believe that the legs and the arms were about equal length, maybe the legs being a little bit longer, and it was able to be mostly quadrupedal on the water, on land. Probably it wasn't bipedal at all, and it walked around sort of like a big alligator. And when it swam in the water, it probably had a big paddle on its tail that was able to propel it forward and use those strong legs for swimming and grasping onto prey and attacking and killing everything in sight, because it was the biggest carnivore that has ever existed, most likely. It's very funny because as you look through the design of the Spinosaurus, it's been looking more and more like a duck, almost like a full-on duck. Like it's almost like, it's actually ironic that I put it in with all the hadrosaurs, the duck-billed dinosaurs. But yeah, it's looking more and more like a duck. So Ignacio here is saying tadpole. You think it looks like a tadpole? That's funny. I don't think it looks like a tadpole. It looks more like a duck. Dinosaur says, "How are you doing?" I'm doing good, Dinosaur. How are you doing, my friend? Paul Alfonso says, "What's up, Tall? What's up, Paul?" Jack's in the live stream. What's up, Jack? I probably should have done this in the beginning. Yorgi the Corgi, what up? Lake Villain, what up? Obviously, Marsha's always here to represent. Andres is here. Appreciate you guys all being here. Appreciate it very much. A clat pole. Yeah, it's exactly what the Spinosaurus was. A good old clat pole. So that's the whole controversy pretty much wrapped up in a very light bubble. And I just wanted to come on here and explain sort of the story behind it. If anybody had any questions about it, obviously go and answer or ask them and we can dig into it. Obviously, if you have any dinosaur related questions or prehistoric related questions, regardless, you can pop them in the live and we're going to answer them together right now. But yeah, just to dive in further on the paper, let's read a little bit more here. Previous research at Portsmouth University on Spinosaurus teeth also pointed to it being an enormous river monster. Dr. Ibrahim, who unearthed parts of Spinosaurus skeleton in North African Sahara's desert in 2014, described it as having retracted nostrils, short hind legs, paddle-like feet, and a fin-like tail. He said, "We battle sandstorms, flooding, snakes, scorpions, and more to excavate the most enigmatic dinosaur in the world. And now we have multiple lines of evidence all pointing in the same direction. The skeleton really has a water-loving dinosaur written all over it." Spinosaurus aegypticus remains were first discovered about 100 years ago in Egypt. And this is really interesting with the story, something I wanted to touch on as well. They were moved to a museum in Munich, but destroyed during World War II. So when I showed you guys earlier what the design of the Spinosaurus looks like with that sort of like very tall standing human like pose. Um, yeah, back in World War II, these the fossil expedition that was led out to Egypt to unearth these fossils for the first time were actually German paleontologists. And these German paleontologists brought them back to I think it was the Natural History Museum in Berlin. And when Berlin was bombed during World War II, most of those fossils were destroyed. And so our image of what Spinosaurus actually looked like was based off of like 1950s, 1960s restorations post the fossils getting destroyed, because all we had of the original fossils were pictures, and they weren't there anymore. They all got destroyed. It was just so sad to imagine that a Spinosaurus died like 60 some odd years ago, 60 something million years ago. Probably more like 80. I think the Spinosaurus lived like 80 million years ago. Unearthed, mostly complete skeleton, put in a museum, and then destroyed by humans with bombs. Like, that's so sad that happened. Because we could have probably learned and caught up on this information. We probably know even better what the Spinosaurus looks like now because these fossils are so rare. But as more paleontologists do more digs out into the Sahara Desert, obviously the Sahara Desert being a very, very harsh climate, a very difficult place to go unearth these fossils. When we talk difficult, on a scale of like paleontologists having to go out and do field work to dig up dinosaur bones. I mean, the Sahara Desert is a difficult place to exist, period. Going out there to unearth fossils, to dig underground in a desert, which is mostly made up of sand and sandstone, not an easy task, not at all. But obviously, the reward is worth it because now we're finding out more amazing information about this dinosaur, and the picture is becoming more clear of what Spinosaurus actually was. So, next time you see an online internet depiction of Spinosaurus, think to yourself, is this accurately depicting the Spinosaurus? That doesn't mean you need to hate it. That doesn't mean you need to be angry at it for not being accurate to science. It just means that, you know, everybody loves the Spinosaurus that we have from Jurassic Park. It's cool. It's what a lot of us grew up with, the image of Spinosaurus. Even if you don't know this dinosaur by name, a lot of people that are my age, like I'm 25, a lot of people that are in their early 20s to late 20s, 30, whatever, have watched Jurassic Park 3 in theaters like in 2000s, in the early 2000s. They had it on DVD. They grew up with this image of this dinosaur, and they never really thought about it more. They don't know. They're not updated on this news. I mean, people who love dinosaurs are going to get this update, but people who don't know, they might even think that these are two different dinosaurs in the future. So it's cool. It's cool to me. I think we can still appreciate the two different designs. We can appreciate the one design that comes from a movie that's a movie monster, as we've talked about before. If you guys watched my recent reaction video, I highly recommend you do, because I talked a lot about the depiction of T-Rex and what it actually looks like in media, especially when it comes to Jurassic Park inspired T-Rexes, and then what it actually probably looked like. And that's the reality of it, is we have our sort of Jurassic Park narrative that's been pushed around the world. Like one of the common atrocities of Jurassic Park is depicting this wonderful, amazing dinosaur. One of my favorite dinosaurs, with or without the frill, the Jurassic Park Dilophosaurus, as being a dinosaur that spat venom and had a frill. I was recently teaching my friend Hidan, which has an amazing YouTube channel called Hidden Ghastly. It's all about unboxing Pokemon cards. So big shout out to him. He might be in the chat right now. He might not be. But if he is, I highly recommend you go check out his channel. Great guy. He's actually the first person who commented on the live chat. So if you guys want to go check out his channel, just scroll up and click on his channel. But he's creating this interesting universe of stories, and he wanted a character designed around the Dilophosaurus. So when he originally designed the Dilophosaurus, he designed it with a frill, spitting venom. And I was like, bro, you know that dinosaur didn't actually do that, right? I didn't say it so condescending. I feel like that came off really condescending. But I've had to explain this to a lot of people. Is like the Jurassic Park has formed this narrative for people of what these dinosaurs looked like and behaved like. And there is zero evidence in the fossil record that Dilophosaurus had a frill and or spat venom. Like, that's something that was completely created for the Jurassic Park movie franchise. So when we did, my dog is scratching behind my door. When we dig into the fossil record and we discover these more things, we have these two universes that form up. It's the historically accurate, the paleontologically accurate dinosaurs that we know and love, and then the Jurassic Park dinosaurs that we know and love. Sometimes those two communities clash. Sometimes people have an issue detracting one from the other. And I don't think it needs to be that complicated. We can enjoy our movie monster dinosaurs. We can enjoy our scientifically accurate dinosaurs. Neither one has to go away. Neither one needs to be made fun of. Sometimes they come out a little ridiculous on both sides of the spectrum. Like sometimes seeing a T-Rex covered fully in feathers and really chubby is funny. It doesn't you have a hard time taking it seriously as being the most dangerous carnivore that ever existed on planet Earth. But we can still appreciate it. We can still enjoy it. So this isn't me trying to stoke any flames or take any flames away. I mean, people should fight if they want to fight about this stuff. I feel like arguments about this will only breed more good conversation. So as long as it doesn't come into like insulting and becoming degrading the conversation into personal attacks, having conversations and passionate conversations about dinosaurs is always something I'll be a big fan of. So let's read some of your comments because you guys are commenting on the live chat here, and I am struggling to speak. These live streams are really hard. I have to say, I talk like a freaking butterfly. I'm getting God, it's like I give myself a headache from talking so much. All right, here we go. Mr. N says scientists focus too much on what we know instead of what we should be known. From the discovery of isotope minerals found in bones, of course, the Spinosaurus was an aquatic predator. Well, I don't know necessarily that you could be so like disregarding of the fact that it took them time to learn this stuff and had to focus on different things. Because take yourself back real quick to like World War II, right? To the age where paleontology was in its infancy, like only 100 years into the time where people were digging up dinosaur bones. When you find a theropod dinosaur, well, at least what looks like a theropod dinosaur, has a lot of similarities in a region where you don't know much about what existed back then. I think this is before Carcharodontosaurus was discovered, before a lot of the raptors that were discovered in the region. You imagine a terrestrial animal. Why would you ever think that this animal existed in the water? It's the same reason how when they first discovered sauropods, they thought these dinosaurs were so big, the only place they could have existed were swamps and being in the water. Until they realized that these dinosaurs mostly lived in dry climates and sauropods lived in mostly far away from water and probably lived in big migrational distances from water and probably had these really interesting migrational patterns. So, I don't know if I would be so disregarding about saying like they focus on too much. I mean, I don't think you wrote that in a condescending way. It is text, so I can't really see the way you delivered the line. Nikki says, "Hiya, hi Nikki. Appreciate you being here. You weren't here on the live stream. Last week we missed you very much." Lake Villain says, Is it certain that Spinosaurus is a dinosaur and not a marine reptile from that time?" Nikki, you're the best. Appreciate it. Nikki needs to become a moderator. Can I make you a moderator? Add moderator. Nikki, I'm officially making you a moderator, as well as Jack. Jack's gonna be a moderator as well. Add a moderator. There you go. You guys are both mods now. You do whatever you want in the chat. If anybody is mean to me, kill him. Just kidding. Whoa, I shouldn't say that. YouTube could demonetize me. That was a total joke. I didn't mean that. So sorry, let's go here. Is it certain that the Spinosaurus is a dinosaur and not a marine reptile from that time? This is something that I wanted to talk about, but sounds ridiculous. So let me preface this with, I am not a paleontologist, simply a dinosaur enthusiast who loves dinosaurs very much and studies a limited amount of information about dinosaurs per the content that I create here. I've done limited, and that's very limited, extensive research about dinosaurs, their morphology, their evolution. I know a lot more than the average person, but definitely nowhere close to what a paleontologist knows. So I'm not making any claims with what I'm about to say. I wouldn't see that it's so far-fetched that in the future, the Spinosaurid sort of genus, that whole family of dinosaurs, is deduced eventually into a marine reptile. And the reason that I say that is because when you look at the design and the way that, like what scientists and what paleontologists are forming these dinosaurs to look like, the Spinosaurus is becoming more and more reptilian and more aquatic, like amphibian looking, as every year goes by. And it's hard for me to believe that this dinosaur is ever going to get like more of a dinosaurian look. Like I can't see it becoming more theropodal, more bird-like as the years go by. And I think eventually, as we find more and more information and we dig up more dinosaur bones from the Spinosaurus, from the Baryonyx, from Suchomimus, we might get to a point where we either describe them as marine reptiles or at the very least, amphibious reptiles, sort of like crocodiles and alligators. And less dinosaurs. Like they might be more closely related to things like Sarcosuchus and Deinosuchus, like big crocodilian crocodiles, like alligators, crocodiles that just existed a million years ago, and maybe these were just cool evolutionary lines that died out. But again, this is me. I'm not making a claim. This is me just theorizing in a fun way. I don't really think it's gonna happen, but I think there's a good chance that as time goes by, we might potentially get there. So Ignacio says I can dig up a desert easily in Minecraft. Well, yeah, if you got a diamond shovel and a lot of sand, you can do whatever you want in Minecraft. Dinosaur says Death Ground, Goner, Primal Dominion, Instinction, Lost Wild. Dinosaur, you come in here sometimes and you just write titles of movies and video games, and I love it. I don't know what you're trying to say. It's like you communicate via titles of movies and games. I think it's cool. I don't judge. So Mr. N goes back and says Ibrahim's research, alongside others, reinstates that theory by skeletal structures, its hind limbs, and diet. The notion Spinosaurus led an amphibious lifestyle isn't new, neither is Jurassic Park 3. Of course, yeah. The only reason I'm covering this as if it's new news is because this sparked up a debate. Like this whole thing about the bone density sparked up a debate, and again, sort of like a meme, funny, more to like people were more poking fun and stuff about the Spinosaurus and making fun of it on Twitter. I saw it as a good way to jump in on the train and try to get some views out of this because I know it's fresh on people's mind as of a week or two ago. I did want to cover this last week. I didn't feel comfortable enough, and I wanted to wait for a little bit more information to come out if there was anything new that I missed. But yes, this is not new information. I mean, this has been talked about for a very long time now. At least the last 10 years, we have known that the Spinosaurus looked similar to this. I think 2014 is really when the Spinosaurus took on this intense aquatic look, but it's definitely been getting more aquatic looking as every year has gone by since 2001. Mr. N says, so what about this research paper solidates our understanding of this creature that we didn't already know? Mr. N, nothing really other than the bone density. And I think the bone density is something that we knew about, that a lot of paleontologists and scientists knew about. I think this official paper just comes out and reinstates all of it. I don't think it's doing neither a harm nor necessarily a benefit to the scientific community. There wasn't any new depictions of the dinosaur that came out, to my knowledge. Nothing that gave us any sort of artistic like imagery of what this dinosaur would have looked like. Nothing new about the environment that it lived in. It's more just a paper coming out reaffirming thoughts that we already said and sort of solidifying it. And I think more than anything, it's trying to gauge the room and get an approval from the scientific and paleo community. If I had to guess, again, not really a part of that, have no authority in any way to say or not. But if I had to take a guess, I would say that it's probably something along the lines of that. And that's it. That seems to be all of your questions, guys. We're coming up on the 30-minute mark, and I think that we're going to cut this live stream a little bit shorter today because I don't want to harker on and talk about the Spinosaurus for a full hour because there's not that much to say. Also, regardless of that, we accomplished the goal of these live streams. So the question is for you guys who listen to this after, and the people that are on right now with me, and you can feel free to chime in right now. Would you guys want me to continue the series? I originally created this live stream series basically to try to get monetized and to boost the watch time on this channel, and it worked well. It worked exactly the way it was supposed to. The Camp Cretaceous one that we did, the first live stream, actually is the one that's pretty much brought us over the edge of watch time, and it's very exciting. I hit my chair thing and I went down. But is this something that you guys would want to see me too? Do you guys like hanging out for like a 30 minutes to an hour here, talking about dinosaurs, hanging out, having a conversation, or do you guys not really care? You let me know what you think. Let me know after, if you guys are watching after, or if you're watching now in the live stream. And if you have any other questions you want to chime in on and talk about dinosaurs, you got anything you want to say, let me know, and we can definitely talk about it. But I think we are done with the live chat. I think everybody has said what they wanted to say. That's it. Okay, well, I have nothing else to say, guys. That's the Spinosaurus information for 2022. As Mr. N said, we don't really have much new information. This is pretty much reiterating the same points that a lot of people knew before in maybe a more formative way, maybe a little bit more digestible for people who didn't know, and kind of just a refresher. So as you know now, the Spinosaurus did not look like that. It looked more like a crocodile with a giant sail on its back. Nikki Dunn says, hit that like and share. It costs nothing. Helps so much. Nikki, you're the best. Appreciate you guys so much. thanks to everybody who joined. Appreciate you guys. We had the most people on this live stream. And we're going to see you guys a new video this week. We got a quick dive on the Therizinosaurus. And we got some more exciting content coming up very soon. Love you guys very much. Appreciate you all for joining me on this live stream. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye, Dino friends.